They told me they're close on time, but you guys need to give it up for Mad Noise. I almost got my head stuck in the ceiling in that little room up there when they did their set. All right, I'm ready now. I always knew I was in the wrong body. I can remember asking my mama, when do I get to carry the purse? How about some frilly shit from me? Being a child of the 50s, that kind of talk drew me a smack in the head. From the one woman I should have been able to run that truth on, my mama. And that kind of set me up for this life of a secret agent, you know, because I thought that was true. You know, that I thought what went on with me was wrong, you know. But it never went away, that compulsion for the other gender's clothes. And I was always on the lookout for the other gender's clothes. I was constantly trying to put together outfits. And out to the woods I'd go to dress up for the squirrels. The neat thing about squirrels is they don't judge. By then I was adopted by my aunt and uncle, and my aunt's stuff was too big for me, and I would cut it up, and the thing about mamas is they know how many bras they have. And yeah, that's hard. That makes it really hard. And my feet aren't big. They're a size 10 in ladies. That's like a 9 in men's. And I need to let you know this too. I'm from a place in New Jersey that's so rural. Hold your ears over there. Fuck you as a greeting, and teeth are optional. That being said, I lived in Beechwood, New Jersey in the early 60s, and nobody was locking their doors then. And right across the street from my aunt and uncle and I was like a Navy family. And I noticed the woman that lived across the street had these banging hot black high heels. They were just like the ones I got on tonight. They were Lord, these are ringers. These are not those shoes, by the way, but they are ringers for the ones that she had on. And in the early 60s, nobody, like I said, nobody was locking their doors. They went to work the next day. My ass was in her closet. And I got them shoes. They were the first pair of ladies' shoes to actually fit me. They needed no alteration. And I was in them. Somehow this woman was intuitive enough to know I had heisted her shoes. And her husband was a Navy chief, and he was big. Oh my God, he was big. And in his Navy whites, he and his wife came up to me and he said, these were his exact words, "Come here, you little fuck, we're gonna talk to your parents." And my step-parents, they reprimanded me, but they really didn't know how to address it. And it didn't stop me. When I was young, every parking lot at every shopping center had these receptacles that Salvation Army would put out, right? And they were receptacles for clothes. And if you were young and stupid enough, you could climb through the chute. Did you know that once you get past a certain point in that chute, there's no getting out of those things? This one night, I was young, drunk, and stupid, failed to look, and I got past that halfway mark and dropped to the bottom of this box. That was me, you guys. I was in the bottom of that box with a pair of sneakers. Sneakers do not a very good step make. And the first seam inside of there is like way up high. I use this as a holder on them. And I kept trying to get up to that step. And it sounded like somebody had a rock in a trash can and they were rattling it around. And I finally wore myself out, because remember, I was young, drunk, and stupid, and I passed out against the door. The door that they empty the box out of, and I passed out against the door. The next thing I know, my world is flooded with light. And I'm on my back in the parking lot, and there's this old black man standing over top of me with this wild look on his face. He was apparently the guy that had brought the truck around to empty the box out. And I didn't miss a beat. I was like, "What time is it?" And he was like, 9 o'clock. I said, "Good, I wanted to get up early," and I walked away. I'm not sure, but I'll bet he knocked before he opened those doors. Then on. Right? Oh, goodness. That was probably my first coming out experience. Fast forward 35 years. I no longer live in New Jersey. I'm living in Bernal Heights, that lesbian enclave, with my fiancée, Sharon. I am now sporting a $23,000 Made in America lesbian approved vagina. I'll bet you didn't know, when they build you a $23,000 Made in America lesbian approved vagina, one of the first things they tell you is, you need to use this or it will go away. Could you imagine the buyer's remorse? I was like, well, whatever it is you need me to do, I am on board. The fulfillment of a lifelong dream. And they came at me with 3 Pyrex sticks. 3 different colors, blue, green, and red. 3 different circumferences, like a little one, a little bit larger, and one larger than that, all turned up at the end. And I made it all the way to the largest circumference, but that one made my eyes water. I was like, you're not doing that. And they were made out of Pyrex. I was like, is my new vagina going to heat up? What's going on with this? And after a while, it was like, this is boring. And I'm like, I live in San Francisco. I'll bet there's other things I can do. So I walk my ass down Valencia, and into Good Vibrations I go. I've always been a little gregarious and had no problem with my big mouth. I walk into Good Vibrations and I say to the young woman behind the counter, I have this new vagina and I'm looking to take it for a ride. What can you show? It's the fact that I'm so gregarious or outgoing, but they always want to show me giant stuff. And the first thing she showed me, I was like, oh no, honey, not my $23,000 vagina. We got on the same page, and she showed me something that was purple, which is my honey's favorite color. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but I was like, yeah, well, that's nice. It was ribbed and it vibrated, and again, I was like, okay, I took that home, and it was fun for a while, but after a while, again, it was boring, and I noticed my honey was having a really good time with this little vibrator. Back down Valencia, back into Good Vibrations. Hi, I'm back. I tell the girl behind the counter, my girlfriend has this little vibrator and she seems to be having a really bang up time with it. What can you show me? And we're on the same page by now, and she goes in the back and she comes back out and she has this little vibrator in her hand and she says to me, oh, I need to let you know this too. Part of my process, I'm on hormones. I'm on hormones for the whole deal, right? My primary care doctor refers to them as my fountain of youth. I am goddamn 62 years old. Yes. So, you know what that is? That's chemically induced female adolescence. At any given time, there is a circus going on in my pants. I'm loving you, I'm hating you, I want a fist fight. Don't even It's frightening. It scares me. So anyway, she comes back with this little vibrator and she says with a straight face, and this is the genetic female I am getting this information from. For all intents and purposes, I am a 12-year-old. She says, this is so strong and so quiet that you can just put it in and go about your day. I was like, so that's what all those women are smiling about. So I'm like, well, hell, I'm going to do this. I got that information from a genetic female. I go home, I take all my clothes off, I put the vibrator in, and I'm not sure if I'm feeling it or I'm hearing it. But I'm like, task at hand, I'm gonna make dinner tonight. Let's get dressed and go to the grocery store. I don't know about you guys, but I smoked a lot of dope as a child, and when I did, I thought everybody knew, right? Like I don't have enough stuff on my plate. I'm an addict in recovery now with like 24 years clean, right? It's all about being responsible and knowing who the hell I am. Let it go. So anyway, I just assumed everybody knew, right? I'm walking, the walk to the grocery store is about half a block away, right? But I'm like, Morgan, everybody knows. Everybody knows. I get in the store, right? And I'm like, okay, task at hand. The produce, let's start with a salad. The produce is at the back of the store. I start walking for the back of the store. I hear, clean up in aisle 3. I'm like, oh my God, I'm in aisle 3. No, come on, let's go to the back of the store. I need to let you know that after the walk to the store and get in the store, my new vagina and my new vibrator, they are both starting to sing, if I could call it that. It's I'm not really sure what's happening here, but it's like changing the tenor of my voice and stuff. And I get to the produce aisle, and the first thing I see is the most manly cucumber I've ever seen in my whole life. And I was like, oh, yes, put that in the basket. I put that in the basket, I take 2 steps, and I see the most darling squash I've ever seen in my whole life. I was like, yes, put that in there. I take another step, I see broccoli. I have never had a thing for broccoli. At that moment, I think I screamed out loud and everything. I got done with my scream. I looked alongside of me, there's an old Asian woman looking up at me, and she says, I really like vegetables too. And then she said, I think your cell phone's ringing.